Ask Eklund will start with it for Boston College in the home white kits today. Louisville in red. Louisville, who beat Boston College 1-0 last year on the goal by Damian Barker-John in the 29th minute down in Kentucky. Off we go. Appreciate you spending part of your Sunday afternoon with us today as Eklund settles nicely for Michael Asari. What a chance early on. And A.J. Piella, who makes his second career start today. What a big save early.
And that's exactly the start Coach Thompson would have wanted for his side. Getting through it early, and it's that main man, Ask Eklund, already asking questions off the defense.
And Michael Asari is the one who gets the shot to set up this corner kick from Marco Dos Santos. Goes low for Eklund right on that front post, and it just deflected out. So, good start for Boston College, who scored a bunch early. That slowed down maybe a touch here, just one goal over the last 2 games. There's the starting lineup for Boston College. Eklund and Asari up front. Brian Toro's earned more and more time here recently. He gets another start in the midfield today. And on that back line, once again, Ochoa likely to come off the bench. Louisville now turning things quickly the other way. Michael Lee with a little bit of space. Chavi O'Neal's in good position. Asari over there for Boston College. Now a rip from outside. Sander Road crashing in after Klein made the initial save.
And we are seeing a really frantic start to the game. Right now, you are looking to your leaders in the back, C.J. Williams, Josh Jones, to just settle things down for both teams and get into the normal rhythm of the match.
Love to see that start both ways. There is A.J. Piella, who settles things. He's a freshman from Columbus, Ohio. Someone that Louisville's really excited about, but probably playing a little sooner than maybe they would want. With Harvey Sellers, who played the first 7 games this year, out. Alex Svetanoff, who played every game last year, the redshirt sophomore on the way to an NCAA tournament. He has been out all year.
And with these guys out, Coach Hayden is showing that he's not afraid to trust the young guys. 4 freshmen in the lineup today, and what is a crucial match for Louisville, looking to get their first win of the ACC season.
Yeah, Louisville, 15 newcomers this year. And a lot of them are contributing in a major way, as you said. This is the 5th game in a row that 4 freshmen have started for the Cardinals. Let's go back to that chance earlier here from the Cardinals.
And it's just J.P. Jordan, the transfer from SMU, getting a good shot on goal, and Klein's just there right in position to make the save.
J.P. Jordan, who was an all-AAC selection back in 2022 for SMU, of course now in the ACC. One positive note for Louisville, Josh Jones is back in the starting lineup today in the center back spot, making his 57th career start for the Cardinals' 61st games. He did not play against UAB or in the game against Syracuse, last 2 times out.
And when you do have such a young team, it is so important to have a leader like that, have an experienced person who's already been drafted in the MLS, and it is a huge get for him to be in this match today.
Sander Rhodes service, then the follow-up. Jack Lewis hit it. Redall works it back for DeBlasis. Job by Christian Behar, who's been so solid for Boston College this year. Cardinals, as we said, 15 newcomers. That has been 62% of Louisville's minutes this year. A little bit of a precarious spot, having made the NCAA tournament 3 years in a row and 4 of the last 5 under John Michael Hayden. Some work to do, certainly, in the gauntlet that is the ACC.
And you saw there, selected 12th in the preseason poll. I'm sure they don't like that. They're going to want to do better. And it's going to take a lot to come here today and get that result.
They were 2-4-2 in the conference last year, the 9 seed. Last year still in the division format. Now that's been eliminated, the 15-team league, with the additions of Cal, Stanford, and SMU. Whistle here. Christopher Grabas, our referee today. A warning to the side as he blew that play dead.
And this is fantastic work from Marco Dos Santos. Something that is so special about him is the way he gets on the ball and likes to drive at defenses. You want to see him do a little bit more of that in some games, and he's getting off to an early start here today.
Eagles will restart with Max Andrews. Goes back for Jack Burkhart. Brendan Klein over the top for Chavi O'Neal. It's to his right, to the space there. It's knocked out off of Louisville. Jack Lewis, first year from England, played as part of the Liverpool Academy until he was 16 years of age, played for Leicester City as well.
BC looking to really keep possession here. You see Burkhart starting at that number 6 position, but dropping into the center backs, liking to get the ball. Expect him to be the real midfielder that really gets on it and tries to keep things moving for BC.
Throw in for Max Andrews. Back for CJ Williams. So the Eagles can reset through the back. 3-2-4 this year is Boston College. Still looking for their first ACC win of the year. Dos Santos, good ball for Asari. Comes back to his left, Asari. Not sure if he was looking for Eklund there or O'Neal. Ended up hitting our referee, Christopher Grabas. I mean, you talk about the ACC schedule that Boston College has played so far when we say 0-2-1, but they played each of the last 2 national champions to start in the ACC, in Syracuse and Clemson. And then last time out on the road at number 2 Pitt, who of course this week was number 1 in the national polls.
And it doesn't really get any easier. You look at the remaining.
It does not.
You look at the remaining matches. A Notre Dame team that made it to the NCAA final. A North Carolina team ranked in the top 3 right now. But that's what the ACC is. Every single match you play is going to be against a top-level opponent.
You can see there Boston College's opponent's winning percentage that's left, and Louisville as well. Louisville still has Clemson on the schedule, SMU. They'll go to Cal next week. Josh Jones steps up well against Eklund. And here come the Cardinals. Nice little play to Fredall there. Service looking for a header. Andrews got a piece of it. It was TJ Kahoali, first year from right down the road here in Whitman, Massachusetts.
And should be a homecoming for him. I'm sure he has a lot of friends and family in the stands coming back here to the state of Massachusetts, and I'm sure he'd love to get a goal.
Played for the Boston Bolts and MLS Next. Both of his parents are U of L alums. Sonder Road, senior. 3-time all ACC selection, Sonder Road. 3 goals and 2 assists so far in his season. Possession here for Louisville. And that one missed wide. Decent build up there for John Michael Hayden's team. He's in his 6th season at the helm of Louisville. Kind of listened to what he said after the last couple of games, and it was basically a combination of we have more. There's more in there. But there's a real belief in what he has, but now it's just about finding the way to unlock it with this year's group.
And for this Louisville team, they have had success in the past, making it to the semifinals of the ACC tournament last year. But the issue with him this season is maybe he hasn't had his best lineup for every single game. But with college soccer, it is such a long, grueling season. You have to take the punches as they come, and I'm sure he expects a win no matter who's on the field for him.
Sonder Road tried to go over the top. Brennan Klein right there to start it for Boston College. Team with just 1 point in the ACC so far. All 15 teams will make the conference tournament. Max Andrews plays it over top for Michael Asari, using his speed. Asari across. Oh, that was a dangerous bouncing ball. Eklund still in the area, fighting for positioning and managed to get it on goal. against the 6'5" Josh Jones.
And that's a battle we should be seeing a lot of today. Josh Jones versus Ask Eklund. And great work from Masari to get the cross in, and Piola can't quite keep his hands on it, but that is why it is massive to have Josh Jones back into the lineup. Just holds off Eskelin with his 6'5" frame, and he couldn't get a good shot on it.
Looked like it was actually even deflected off of Jones on the way through to Piola. Still impressive work to even get a shot in that situation. So already we've had 3 shots each way in this game, 2 on goal for Boston College, 1 for Louisville. As we play here over the 10-minute mark, first half. Glasses clears it out on the far side. Quick entrance for Ask Eklund. Some room, goes wide for Behar. The flag is up on the near side. So a decent development for Boston College under Bob Thompson, who's in his 5th year at the helm of the Eagles. Even that result against Pitt. Lost 1-0 to Clemson at home. They feel like this whole year, but even from what we've seen so far, it's so close to breaking through. Now, both of these teams really in a similar spot, trying to get results out of what they feel like has been some promise at times.
And the way the college soccer season works, it's all about peaking at the right time. When you get into conference tournament play, when you get into NCAA tournament play, that is when you want to be playing your best soccer. So as long as these key teams keep the identity strong, keep playing the way they want to play, the results hopefully will come as well.
Sari's been active so far, drew a foul. Sorry, back in for possession. C.J. Williams and Gundelach, the 2 center backs for BC. And then there's Burkhart. Steps back to send the long ball for Xavi O'Neal. Xavi gets to the line. Then another chance. Oh, Dos Santos actually got a shot out of that. Now Behar winds up and missed wide. Boy, it looked like that play was going to be dead a couple of different times. But the Eagles do manage to get one towards goal.
And dangerous work down the wing once again for BC. And Dos Santos gets a shot on it. Doesn't quite get the contact he wants. But BC threatening early and often here.
It's one of those he had to go after quickly off of the deflection that came up into the air rather than out for a corner.
And you saw the way that play started. It's once again Burkhart dropping into the center back position, dropping between the 2 center backs, and playing that long ball out wide to O'Neal. Very effective for the Eagles so far.
BC, who's always been good on their home pitch through the years. Nice work by O'Neal to create a lot of space for himself. Xavi O'Neal through to Dos Santos. Just trying to get a pass behind for Eklund. Couldn't really get the touch on it. Let's go all the way back to the start of this play and look at the build-up first from C.J. Williams.
And if you're Coach Hayden, you're trying to figure out, how do we stop the wing play we've seen so far from the Eagles? Louisville playing with 3 in the back, and you see just the way they aren't really able to get out wide to the wingers and close them down fast enough. So we'll see how they adjust that going forward.
It's been a little bit more than your average feeling out early on in the game. It's a number of opportunities, 8 total shots so far. 4 of them on target. Louisville putting a little bit more pressure on. Brennan Klein starts it forward for Dos Santos. Back Lewis, found it. Now Eklund back into the play. Gives it up. Jordan. Gives it over for Fredall. Back through the midfield. Sander Road towards the box. Gundelach knocks it out. Dos Santos had a couple of different Cardinals around him before he gets it over for Max Andrews. Play on with Dos Santos down. And then Gundelach was upended.
And you see how frantic this game still is. Tackles flying, players running hard. Both coaches are definitely going to want to slow this game down.
Let's go back to the Dos Santos one against JP Jordan.
And good initial tackle there from Jordan. I think it's the second one on Guerra that ends up being the foul.
So Sander Road, who is always so dangerous on these free kicks, no matter where on the pitch, saw the one off the top of the show against Syracuse that tied that game late. Both had a flair for the dramatic late in games this year.
And you see Josh Jones there at the back post. Look for him to be the target and to head it back across where one of the other Louisville runners can run onto it and hopefully get a shot on target.
He's the one moving right now. So they go behind him first, then the header looking for Jones. Comes out for Michael Lee, but the Eagles defended enough. Josh Jones, who has 10 career goals in 60 games coming up from the back, 8 of those 10 have been assisted by Sander Road. And many of them on set pieces just like that.
And what a connection those two have formed throughout their careers at Louisville, starting around the same time. And they've really blossomed to almost an unlikely partnership between a center back and an attacker. But just every time Louisville gets a dead ball.
Eagles through their back line. 27 plus to go in this first half. 0-0 for the Eagles and the Cardinals. And that is out on the far side for the throw.
And it's interesting the way Louisville are set up. You see Brian Toro there in the midfield, hasn't really gotten the ball much, but he has 6 players around him in that pocket, and that leaves the wing so open for BC as we see here.
Asari plays it across. Jones got a piece of it. So there's been a couple that maybe haven't been what you would call a grade A chance, but have kind of been sitting there that could develop into that. And it's something to certainly watch as we play on here.
Yeah, so you'll see it when BC gets the ball in possession. Louisville's playing with 3 midfielders, so you have Road, Lewis, and JP Jordan all there, and then the 3 attackers as well. That leaves a lot of space open on the wings, and BC's really been exposing that so far in this match.
And this is somewhere where Boston College last year maybe holding out of the ball a little bit more, this year willing to work those sides and try to get something going in transition. Cardinals back on possession, Sander Road from outside. And that missed well wide. So here's some of the chances that we've talked about so far. Really a decent amount of them considering how far into this game that we are.
And the game started off so fast. This chance was in the first 20 seconds of the match. Both teams taking shots, both teams threatening, and it's especially the BC wingers that are having a field day so far in this first half.
Ask Eklund did finally get that shot to turn on against AJ Piella, the freshman. This is something we've seen from Boston College. Their shot numbers, maybe not quite as high as early in the season, but still pretty massive difference year over year. You just look at the NCAA ranks and where they were last year compared to so far this season.
And I think it helps to get, obviously, a player like Ask Eklund in there. But then you're also seeing a coming-of-age source for some players. Xavi O'Neal, a year older. Marco Dos Santos, a year older. So you have a lot of players who are really coming to fruition for BC so far.
Michael Lee gives it up. The ball across for Gage Guerra, senior from Houston, Texas. Guerra, good work. What a chance, and Klein stops it. And the follow cleared out by Max Andrews.
And good work there from Guerra, dangerous goal scorer, gets it onto his left foot, and comfortable save in the end for Klein, but that's what Coach Hayden's gonna want more of. Targeted shots around the 18, into the box, into goal, trying to really get their first goal of the match.
Gage Guerra, who is one of those guys drafted in the MLS, but elected to come back to school for Louisville. 3 players drafted last year, but Jones and Guerra deciding to return. Guerra's got it again. And wide for Sonder Road. Anytime Sonder Road's on possession, you can see him immediately trying to traffic where he wants his team to go. 24 career assists, which is second most in program history. No problem this time for Josh Jones to go back to get it.
BC here want to get a little more possession than they've had in the past couple minutes. Started off very well, we're controlling the game, but you've seen Louisville maybe get a little bit more of their footing, getting some shots on target on Klein's goal. So Coach Thompson's going to want them to really set themselves possessionally once again.
They can always kind of fall back on the way they played much more last year. CJ Williams willing to step up a bit. Couldn't get it through to O'Neal. Jack Lewis is there for the Cardinals. And Louisville keeps possession. Burkhart back on it. Got it ahead for Ask Eklund, who leads Michael Asari. Again, space on the outside. Asari for Toro. And this time, Boston College will play a little more possession. Burkhart is willing to jump back. Mars kind of shifts in to that back row, and Behar up almost in a midfield spot.
And you see the Louisville midfield, it is so congested. The 3 center midfielders are so quickly tight together. So that does leave the space out on the wings. And you see Lee having to come back and defend Asari because he's been so dangerous on the offense so far.
Ogunlea. Forward for Michael Lee against Asari. Knocked out, who's it off? And it's off of Louisville, so another goal kick. Here's what you're talking about in terms of where Louisville is in the midfield.
Exactly, and you see it's Toro in there, and if he gets the ball, he'll have 5 guys on him. So you're not looking to play to him, you're looking to bypass him, get it to the wings, and that is where BC has had their best chances so far.
It's been Asari on the near side, Xavi O'Neal on that far side. That's kind of where Eklund, too, makes a big difference, as you were talking about a little bit earlier. Guys like Dos Santos and O'Neal, who were option 1s last year, but now when you have that true striker up front, they're able to be options 1A, 1B, 1C.
And it also gives Josh Jones something to think about. He's the main guy in the middle of the Louisville defense. So if Josh Jones and Ask Eklund are having a battle on themselves, that leaves the other guys really to go at players and try and make things happen.
It is still a young back line for Louisville besides Josh Jones. Ogunleya is a first year from Illinois. Michael Lee is a first year from Toronto. Over top for Behar. And track it down against with under 20 remaining in the first half. Shots are now up to 5-5. 3-2 in shots on target in favor of Boston College.
And you talk about those faces in the Louisville back line. You know, between their 3 defenders and their goalkeeper, 3 out of the 4 of them are freshmen, with Josh Jones, the lone experienced senior. So it's just even more onus on him to really keep this team together and make sure that the younger guys just know how important these games are.
That ball stayed in on the side. The Eagles get possession out of it. Max Andrews. A little too far. Trying to connect with Ask Eklund. It's back for Piella, freshman goalie. Allowed 2 goals in the loss to UAB on Tuesday night at home, 2-1 defeat. It's a game where Louisville outshot UAB 14-5. They were outcornered him 10-2. But after the Cardinals tied the game in the 63rd minute, they allowed the game winner just 3 minutes later. Our first set of subs will come in for Louisville. Gaetano Gargento is in for the first time, along with Bilal Kamara, the sophomore.
Louisville here electing to switch the 2 players playing in those wing back positions for them. So Coach Hayden probably looking to just keep the energy up. You've seen BC, like we said many times, have a lot of joy on those wings. So maybe just some fresh legs to really get up and down the field more.
Gunlea or Sonder Road. A ton of true possession over the last minute or 2, but now the Eagles break out. Dos Santos has Eklund in front, Asari to his right. Michael Asari has to peel back against Argento. And back over for Behar.
And you just saw Asari there, maybe just run out of ideas. They had the open chance. Maybe you want him to look for a shot or a cross, but BC keeps possession nonetheless.
Really content to play possession, looking for the moment. Now Toro kind of swaps spots with Burkhart for the moment. Louisville putting a little bit more pressure on. Brennan Klein over for Dos Santos. Argento was first on it. Eagles win possession again.
Good work there from Toro to win the ball back for the Eagles.
Really patient right now, Dos Santos. See how patient Louisville allows Boston College to be. Not anymore as Josh Jones steps up. Space in behind if the Eagles can get possession back. Jones is up into the play, and it's Chavi O'Neal is on possession for Boston College. O'Neal throws it across, stops there, then Dos Santos couldn't get it on goal.
And Marco Dos Santos is gonna want that one back. Great shot from O'Neal. The rebound comes back. Goalkeeper maybe should be doing a little bit better and pushing this a little further away. And Dos Santos naturally left-footed, maybe just not as comfortable on his right. It is a little farther away from him, but he'll expect to score that and really get good contact next time.
Well, that was a unique spot in this game where Boston College, that almost felt like Boston College of last year, where they really held on to the ball for a long stretch of time and just kind of waiting to see how aggressive Louisville wanted to be. Eventually, they did push, and we have seen Josh Jones jump up into the play a little bit more this year. But because the Eagles won the ball back, they were in a very advantageous situation, but couldn't quite take advantage of it.
And we've seen a couple times now where BC's taken advantage on the counterattack, and especially in that instance when your defensive pillar goes all the way up the field, gave even more space for the Eagles to exploit, and they should have a couple more chances in that same fashion moving forward.
Now that time went against Boston College. 14 minutes remaining in this first half.
And if you're BC as well, you're gonna wanna keep shooting. You've seen a couple times now, Pila has really bobbled the ball and given chances for those rebound opportunities. So if you're Coach Thompson, you're telling your team, keep shooting. Let's test this young goalkeeper and see if he can rise to the occasion.
Cardinals now back to work. Toro gets it way up into the air, and a foul goes against Louisville. Kahoa Lee got his hands on the back of the jersey there. So if you're Louisville here, considering what we just saw on that counter chance, how aggressive are you going to be in this situation?
I think the issue for Louisville is their plan is definitely to cut out the passes into the midfield for BC, and they're doing a great job of that, but that's giving BC a lot of freedom on the wing. So the buildup isn't necessarily what BC might want, but they're still getting those opportunities when the ball ends up getting in those open spaces.
Throw in for Asari, going quickly. And they call the foul. He got a little bit of a tug of the jersey here.
And Asari just been a threat the entire game, not making it easy for the Louisville defenders and just doing enough to draw the foul.
So free kick for Dos Santos. And a half where it feels like there's some momentum on the side of the Eagles. Can they take advantage? Burkhart's ball going back post. Never had a chance to get through. Noah DeBlasis, first-year defender from Toronto, did a good job to keep that from a dangerous spot.
And if you're Louisville right now, it's been a while since they've really had a good spell of attack, and you're looking to Sonder Road to really get on the ball and create those chances. We've seen him kind of stage that right side of the attack and try and cross balls in from that side. So maybe you ask him to move around a little bit and get on the ball more, because as we know, he's really the one that keeps things ticking in the attack.
I got inside. Double Michael. Forward, G, forward.
Toro has gotten more and more minutes as a freshman from here in Massachusetts in Revere. With IFA New England and MLS next.
Well done. Keep going. Well done. Let's go. Hey, tight. Yes.
Argento goes back for Asari's gonna get this one for Boston College. Eagles couldn't hold possession. D'Argento. JP Jordan goes back for Sonder Road. Settles against Behart. Josh Jones, here's where we talk about stepping up. Blasts it too high.
And decent spell of possession there for Louisville. Maybe would have wanted a better shot rather than kind of sufficing for the long one from Jones. But that there, they're getting their danger players involved. You're getting Road involved. JP Jordan getting the ball and pushing into the attack. So more of what Coach Hayden's going to want.
Chase Vasquez comes in for Louisville. Ola Arntzen as well. And for Boston College, their first sub of the game, Marcy Colleen, the redshirt sophomore from Cal State Fullerton. Missed a couple of games earlier this year, still rounding back into form. Is in for BC. He replaces Toro in the middle.
And first sub there for BC, but we're seeing a lot of subs for Louisville, and it'll be interesting to see, especially with the new substitution rules in the second half, who comes back out for Louisville and how they really set up for the remainder of the game.
Argento definitely had an impact since coming in. Dos Santos couldn't quite hold his footing against Josh Jones. Space for JP Jordan to walk into.
And Jordan getting on the ball more here, and that's what you really want from him. A top midfielder that came over from SMU, has a ton of experience, and we've talked about Louisville having a lot of young players. He's another guy that maybe a lot of people in the ACC might not be familiar with, but somebody that is going to be so key for Louisville that they're going to start getting some results moving forward.
Now again, transferred in from SMU. Team back in 2021. 1 assist so far this year, which came at Notre Dame. Sorry, was knocked off. Would play on.
Yeah, trying to self-foul there a little bit, but ref wasn't buying that one.
Argento. Kaho'ali. Plays across, diving header by C.J. Williams, and Eklund steers it to the side. And now we'll stop play for the moment and check on Asari.
And you see here, definitely a lot of contact. Not sure if it's enough to draw the foul, but definitely still one of those that you're going to feel for a little bit.
They did not stop the clock there, so Asari can stay in. Gunlea will throw. Nice work by Gundelach, was aggressive there and wins possession for Boston College. Gundelach's now way up into the play for the moment.
And that right there is where BC has had a lot of success, winning the ball back and really pushing it forward. There, maybe not as many runners as they've had in previous plays to go towards goal, but they've done a really good job of winning the ball back and making progressive passes into the attack.
Burkhart over top, couldn't get it to Behart. Nice play. Ogunlea and starts it forward to Kamara. Vasquez now out front against Burkhart. Got knocked off. Oh, bouncing ball off the deflection. Nearly ended up in a good spot for Koali'i. And that ended up, we've actually now changed it. It's going to be a corner kick for Louisville.
And it's Kamara driving to the attack, and Koali'i here.
Some more subs in. Leo Gualino for Boston College for the first time. Well, it's Jonathan Murphy. Gualino, who started at times, who's come off the bench at times. Transfer in from Wake Forest. And here is, again, Sonder Road. We've talked about it, so dangerous on these set pieces. Always looking out for number 16 for Louisville, Josh Jones.
And BC set up here with the defense, and we'll see how they can deal with it.
Looking for Jones, well defended by Gundalak. Wide for Road again. Another one in, headed wide. Another chance on the corner now from the opposite side.
And BC here defending in a zone with the defense. You see Eklund, Andrews, Gundalak, and Williams sitting there all across the box, really making sure that if the ball goes anywhere in that area, they're the ones to get to it. So Josh Jones has a smaller defender on him, but BC hoping those 4 big men can really be the ones to get to the ball first, no matter where it drops.
Louisville did not have a corner kick until these 2 in a row.
And you see the ref stopping it a lot of bodies in there. You see Josh Jones and Ogunlea, 2 big guys in there right by the keeper. Ref just making sure that there's no pushing or shoving, and he doesn't have to call a foul.
That's 6'5" and 6'4", ready for the service from Sonder Road. And not sure, they're saying whether the ball is outside the half circle or not there. And now good to go. Road service, spinning in, Max Andrews first on it. And they end up calling a foul in the process as well.
And good work there for Max Andrews, getting to it first. And you see Ogunlea a little late there at the foul, and just good defense from the defender.
Arms get extended a little bit. It's almost 2 minutes came off the clock, trying to figure that all out. We're under 2 minutes remaining in this first half. Boston College and Louisville without a goal so far. 7-6 BC on target for 2 Eagles. A little bit more possession here over the last few minutes since the half has gone on for Louisville.
And the way we've seen this match so far, wouldn't be surprised if we still have another chance left here.
Both of these teams have scored more of their goals in the second half, especially Louisville, who has not lost when scoring first, has not lost when leading at the half, but has not won when allowing the first goal. We talked with both coaches at halftime, including going one-on-one with some of the Eagles players. That's into the box, no problem for Klein. "40 seconds remaining in this first half. Felt like there hasn't been quite as much space on the outside here over the last few minutes for Boston College. Some of that's just Louisville having a little bit more possession as this half has gone on.
And it'll be interesting to see how that does change in the second half. Maybe that was an adjustment by Coach Hayden. Maybe it's a personnel thing as well with the guys that came in. But that's going to be something that's going to be very key to keep an eye on in the second half.
So 1 half in the books. 0-0.
See.
So second half about to begin. Sonder Road will start for the Cardinals. Saw Providence on that list as well. That was Boston College's second opponent of the year. A game that BC and Providence tied 1-1. Now ranked 18th in the most recent poll. Don's been up there at times as well this year. It's knocked down to the near side. Leo Guarino in the area, who stays in to begin half number 2 for Boston College. Jonathan Murphy does as well, as does Ola Artson for Louisville. Little give and go right along the line. That was out. Too far for Michael Lee.
One thing I always like to look at now, especially with the new substitution rules in the second half, is who's still out there. And you see all 3 BC substitutions from the first half still out on the field. So look for those guys who came off in the first half to probably come in maybe with about 30 minutes left and really end the match on a strong note for BC.
How do you feel like that potentially changes things this year?
I would say in the past, when you have the opportunity to get
there from Fred Hall.
Yeah, when you have the opportunity to get guys back in, maybe you can give somebody a 5-10 minute breather in the middle of the half. But now that your attackers especially aren't able to sub out, it's probably better for them to rest the first 10-15 minutes of the first half, so that way they have a full 30-minute push under their legs when they come back in.
You can't get it exactly, of course, but you feel like kind of the coaches more and more want to match up as close to the pro game as possible, for a variety of different reasons, and we've seen different rules, different subbing patterns, increase in replay. Obviously, it's not going to be exactly the same for a lot of different reasons, but you do start to see that a little bit.
Exactly, and that's the way it's been trending in college soccer for a long time. You saw the push for the fall and spring schedule, the full season, which COVID probably helped push away a little bit, but you see things such as overtime being taken away, VAR coming into the game. Now with the substitution changing a little bit, it's all, like you said, just to add a little bit more of a pro aspect to this game in college.
Marcy Colleen called for the foul there, so free kick for Louisville. And it is the Norwegian Arntzen. Came in as a transfer from Evansville. Played in 27 matches over 2 seasons. 1,200 minutes last year. One of 15 newcomers on this Louisville roster this season. Jones got a header towards the box from Michael Lee. Gives it back to Blasses. And Fred All's right there. That was knocked out. And a corner kick coming up for the Cardinals.
BC did well to defend the 2 Cardinal corner kicks in the first half, but we'll see how it goes for them now.
So Sonder Road once again. Points in 5 of 8 games this year for Sonder Road. Oh, it was a little too tall for Jones. And Jonathan Murphy trying to dig it out for Boston College. Louisville brings it right back in. Arntzen, no problem for Klein. So first 4 minutes here, last couple of minutes in the first half, we definitely have not quite seen as much from Boston College on some of those runs on their wings. Louisville's done a better job holding possession And now it's about that finishing aspect, as Coach talked about.
Yeah, and I think you could tell from our halftime interviews with both coaches, that's something that they identified and addressed. And as a coach, it's all about going to halftime and making positive changes on your team. So Coach Hayden definitely recognized that and has structured his team to help lessen those chances being created down the sides.
Guadino gets to it. Jones right with him. That was no call either way. And a tie-up. And a goal kick.
And Josh Jones, just such a strong defender. You see they're just using his strength, putting Guarino to the ground. No foul there, and that's one that maybe as an attacker you're trying to get a little bit, but Josh Jones, just such a strong player in the back there once again.
Top Drawer Soccer in the preseason named Josh Jones the number 9 player and number 2 defender on its preseason rankings. Was an all-ACC third-team selection as a center back last year. Missed a little bit of time due to injury.
And he's a guy I'm sure Coach Hayden is happy to keep. You saw Damian Barker-John get drafted and leave early on in his career, and Josh Jones back for his senior year to cap off a fantastic 4-year career for him. So we'll see what he has in store in his last season here at Louisville.
Nice touch from Sonder Road. Fred Hall across, headed back in dangerous area. That hit Williams right on the line. Louisville was asking for a handball, did not get it. We're now well defended by C.J. Williams. Michael Lee goes back for Road. Sends it back in again. Behar keeps it out. Arnson followed up. Behar again there defensively, and Xavi O'Neal will just send it downfield.
And that right there is BC just wanting to get back in shape, get back to see how they can get to their regular defensive positions. And Louisville has really been pushing the attack to start this half so far.
Another cut to the middle of the box. Max Andrews. Louisville's right back on possession once again. They've certainly controlled it in this second half so far.
And sometimes that's all it takes in a match. When you start the matchup, it's both teams feeling each other out, seeing how things are going to go, and it's all about the adjustments you make to really take the game to the other team.
So often it's about capitalizing when the chances are there. You never know how many there may be. Williams heads it out once again. The other card the Eagles have to play, we kind of mentioned this briefly off the start of the show, Diego Ochoa. Now that's a great play, and it's in! Good setup to the line, and Gage Guerra gives Louisville a 1-0 lead.
And I was going to say, early in this half, we've seen the ball go over to Lee on that left side early and often. Once again, he gets the ball and creates a chance, perfect cross for Gage Guerra. And you see it this time, it's from Jones, and Lee gets the ball, faces up Andrews, and Guerra just there at the back post and gets enough on the ball into the back of the net.
Just not marked well enough, and Guerra right on that back post gives Louisville the 1-0 lead. This third goal of the season came in as a transfer from Army West Point, where he was the 2022 Patriot League Offensive Player of the Year. Same year, same team that Max Andrews of BC was the Patriot League Rookie of the Year. But Guerra, the senior, another one of those players drafted last year, scored in each of his first 2 games this year, and is back on the board. Michael Lee with his 2nd assist of the season. He also had one on the road against Pitt.
And you saw Guerra's celebration, some joy, but also some relief. As a striker, you want to be scoring goals, a couple goalless games for him. And you saw Coach Hayden at halftime talk about his team needing more intensity, needing to go after the game. And that's exactly what they've done these first 8 minutes. And now they have a goal to show for it.
You know, it was interesting because there was that play right on the goal line where C.J. Williams, wasn't sure whether it was a handball or not, but Louisville was certainly asking for it in that spot. Oh, here's a dangerous spot. Guarino throws it towards Jones. Good stop. That's such a veteran play by Josh Jones to know his positioning there with his freshman goalie out of the net, and Jones keeps it 1-0 Louisville.
And Pila there sees the ball, thinks maybe it's going to be inside the box, but it's outside, doesn't get the best of touches on it. And in that position as a defender, you know you have to run back to the goal line, and that's exactly what Jones does.
Louisville transitioning back quickly. That just missed wide from TJ Kahoali. Let's go back to this Boston College chance that developed.
And Pila doesn't get the right touch on it, and Guarino does well to get it. Looks like it might maybe on target, possibly going wide, but as a defender, you can't take any chances, and well done from Jones to just get the threat out no matter what.
Guarino again battling for position, taken off. Anyway, the point I was going to make was, so Louisville had that situation where they thought they had an opportunity on a goal, but the play never stopped for us to be able to even look. And then as it carried on, the Cardinals just kept pushing, and got that finish that you and Coach were talking about to make it 1-0.
And we see your goals change games. It was frantic to start the half with Louisville putting a lot of pressure, but even more frantic now with the goal coming in. And if you're BC, you're looking to settle this game down a little bit. Get back to what you were doing in the first half, because right now it's Louisville bringing all the energy in. BC need to get back into this match.
5 of 6 shots to start this half in favor of Louisville. It's now 11-8 Cardinals for the match. Jones again. Saunders Road down to the other side for Louisville. Cardinals, as we mentioned, have not lost when scoring first this year. BC will also sub here. Marco Dos Santos is back in for Murphy. Let's go back. Not going to end up mattering to that play that we were talking about. And the chance was CJ Williams defending on the back line. Ooh, that may have indeed been a handball.
And it does hit his hand, but the hand is at his body. And a lot of times you look about whether he's making himself bigger. But as you talk about, it doesn't matter in the end. And it's Gage Guerra getting there at the back post. Huge touch, and just look at how much that means to him.
So an earned goal for the Cardinals, however it comes. Now they check on Saunders Road.
And I'm surprised right now that Coach Thompson isn't using this opportunity to get his team together. You see the BC players a little bit spread out, 3 players talking to one another, but this is a prime opportunity to get the team together, get a little bit of instruction from the bench, and tell them exactly how important it is to really get possession back into this game and feel their footing once again.
Saunders Road will come to the sideline for now. Looks like Jack Lewis will replace him. Gage Guerra scored 7 goals last year in a season where he just burst onto the scene. 6 goals in his first 5 matches as a member of the Cardinals, then missed 8 matches. Scored another against Clemson in the ACC semis. Javi O'Neal. Got knocked off well. Good play by Philip Fredall.
And I think that play right there just underscores the change from the first half to the second half. In the first half, you saw O'Neal and Asari on the wings, getting a lot of chances going one-on-one with the center backs for Louisville. But here it's Fredall, the wing back, who's there in position to go 1v1 with O'Neal. So BC having to settle for getting the ball a lot deeper in the field than they did in the first half.
Well, the Cardinals have certainly adjusted all the way to the box. CJ Williams first on it. for Williams once again. Dos Santos, good ball. Guarino gives it right back. Dos Santos is stopped. Again, had to go on his off foot.
And we saw the one on his right foot, didn't quite get contact on it, but decent shot from him. He'd want to put it a little bit further away from Pila, and good chance from BC started in the attack. And for Pila as well, that's a big save for him because he's definitely going to have a lot more shots coming on target the next 33 minutes.
There are some of the numbers in the ACC. Harvey Sellers, who started the first 7 games for Louisville this year before AJ Pila, the first year, has had to play the last 2. And Brennan Klein on the other side for Boston College. As Coach Hayden's talked about, as you said, they've missed some guys at times. They've had to play players in different spots. They've had to play some freshmen, but it is not for lack of trust in those freshmen that they are playing. And Pila is one of them. On top of it here.
And with so many young players, especially young players in the back line and at goalie, something to watch out is how they manage this game moving forward, how they keep a lead in a tough ACC match. This is where you need your leaders to really come to life. And you see the game right now. It's faster. It's even louder than it was in the first half. So when there's so many emotions, it can be hard for a younger player. So you need the older players like Josh Jones, JP Jordan to really settle the team down and hopefully keep the lead for them.
Yeah, for the most part in the ACC, they've been trailing. They had to score the late goals against Syracuse to equalize. Held that game against Notre Dame, fell 2-1, lost to Pittsburgh on the road 3-2. Throw-in from Michael Lee. Had the assist on the Louisville goal from Gage Guerra. We're starting to say right before Louisville scored their goal, Eagles have used their captain Diego Ochoa, who's coming back from injury, as kind of a late super sub. And Syracuse against Clemson, and then in a key moment against BU, he scored in the 86th minute to tie that match. They are. Xavi O'Neal trying to get some space, throws it across. Good catch by Pila. As this match has gone on, feels like he's getting more and more comfortable in net.
Exactly, and as a keeper, it just takes a couple times when you really get a good saves, good holds on the ball. And right here, you've seen a couple times this match, maybe he's had a couple shots, he's bobbed a little bit, but a firm grab on that one, and he's gonna have a lot more saves definitely to make as this game goes on.
Yeah, maybe a couple of bobbles in the first half, but we really have not seen it much in half two. There was the one ball that maybe he mishit a little bit. Josh Jones in position. Here's Eklund. Ask Eklund, edge of the box, over for O'Neal. Good ball. Xavi O'Neal is deflected away.
And you see the freshman Pila getting confident, maybe a little bit hurt on this finger there, but great save from him. We haven't called Eklund's name too much in the second half, but this is off to O'Neal, and Pila just stands his ground, and good save from him. Maybe O'Neal could have done a little bit better on the shot, but still a great save from the freshman.
Just the second corner of the game for Boston College. Xavi O'Neal this time. Edge of the box, Guarino bounces and hit the bar, then the follow from Andrews is stopped. It was there twice, and it does not go.
And Pila comes out, gets boxed in, and looks like it's Dos Santos, or Guarino rather, off the crossbar, and just can't quite get good contact on it, and Pila happily grabs it in. Pila you see there gets boxed out by some bigger bodies. Doesn't really know what's going on, but he safely grabs it in. You see him still holding that finger a little bit. We'll have to keep an eye out on that.
So even though you got a couple of situations there where Piela makes some really good saves, can he find a chance to continue to defend as this Boston College team tries to gain some momentum out of it? Perhaps. As we watch, under 28 minutes remaining. Eklund wide. O'Neal is knocked away by Fredall. Does get another corner.
And we saw in the previous corner kick, Pila not the biggest goalkeeper at 5'11", so when there are bigger bodies and he tries to go for the ball, he might be able to get lost in the shuffle. So look to him to maybe stay on his line a little bit and hope those bigger bodies in the Louisville defense can clear the ball away.
Dos Santos got his hand. Despite the chances late, it's still a 1-0 lead for Louisville. Here's the goal. Gage Guerra got it on the back post and knocks in the chance from Michael Lee. That made it 1-0 Cardinals in the 53rd minute. Since then, some chances starting to mount for the Eagles. This was off the corner. 2 great chances in a row. BC's now out shooting Louisville for the game, 12-11. Remember, we told you it was 5-1 Cardinals in shots at one point in the second half. It's now 5-5.
And a lot of action back and forth, and this stoppage here should help settle things down for both teams. I think if you're BC, that action maybe favors you as a team looking for a goal, but this is a chance, as you can see, Coach Hayden talking to a couple of his key players to try and probably settle things down and kind of forge a path for them to keep the win in this match.
Guerra, the goal scorer, is the one down.
Keep going white. Keep going white.
You see Piela is still kind of motioning to that finger. We saw in the save from O'Neal, letting the trainer take a look at it.
Yeah, he actually, yep.
Let's go. Come on. Let's go. It's coming. Come on.
That's never easy as a goalkeeper to deal with. I know all my friends that play goalie, so many angles on those, so many things that can happen when you're a goalkeeper, and you just have to really battle through it.
This was the one, again, it's been 3 or 4 opportunities since then that he had to play despite kind of wincing with his finger. That was the one where it looked like it was after that we saw him kind of going to his hand a little bit, stretching out the fingers as much as possible.
And I'm sure it's going to take a lot more for him to get off the field. You know, it's great to see a young player taking the opportunity, thrust it into the spotlight when his team needs him. And so far, he's done enough to keep BC off the board.
And remember, Louisville's already down a couple of keepers. Harvey Sellers, who started the first 7 matches this year. That's on top of Alex Svetnov, the starting keeper last year. Guerra does come right back in. And we restart. 1-0 Louisville on the Guerra goal. Momentum was on the side of the Eagles before that stoppage. Does that continue? Xavi O'Neal, 1v1, got to the line, earns the corner.
Once again, another corner kick opportunity for BC. Have been dangerous with these. Service has been good as well, so look to keep up with that.
O'Neal's taken all of these of late. That one was shorter. Gundelach knocks it out. Dos Santos and whacks it off Guerra. CJ Williams plays it over for Dos Santos. Throw in for BC. Colleen over for Gundelach with a little bit of pressure. Got it forward for Dos Santos. Gave up possession. And here comes Arntzen. Guerra in front. Oh, Christian Behar, good play to come back. Brett All. Arntzen goes wide for Michael Lee. Pushed off by Dos Santos. Now Chavi O'Neal again kept it going. That ball stayed in for one bounce. Eagles throw, trying to go quickly before Louisville can set up defensively.
And O'Neal awarded there for not going to ground, keeping up the play, still running, trying to keep the ball in.
Yep. Behar spins in. Max Andrews as Colleen. Now Jack Burkhart. He'll slide the field to the left. CJ Williams. Eagles have kept it down here.
And a long spell of possession here from BC, and commentators curse they lose as soon as I say that.
Louisville pushing back. Michael Lee against Max Andrews. And it's Colleen who ends up taking him off the play. It's gotten maybe a little more physical in some of these tackles, but for the most part, all clean. And I think rightfully, Christopher Grabas has allowed these teams to play.
And we've seen the second half, it has gotten, you could say, almost more emotional as that first goal came in. Players knowing that with 22 minutes left, the next goal is so important. Both teams looking for that first win in ACC play, which might be the difference between so much as you look at seeding for the NCAA, or for the ACC tournament rather. So it just means a lot to these teams as we get into the later points of the match.
For Burkhart. Behar starts it forward, little too far for Chavi O'Neal. And Louisville allows that ball to go out, resets, 22 minutes remaining in this second half, and the Cardinals with a 1-0 lead.
And I was just about to say for BC, who could we see come back in to maybe make a change for this game? And we see Asari and Ochoa getting ready to come back in. Two guys, Asari been dangerous so far in this match, and Ochoa, of course, we talked about coming back from injury, playing a little bit, getting that goal against BU earlier this week. So two guys to hopefully get that goal for BC as we move on.
Certainly have had some moments. A lot has gone through Chavi O'Neal on this side.
Patient built up here for BC, just trying to find the right pass. Doesn't always have to be the first one in, just making sure that they get it into the proper positions to create good goal scoring opportunities.
Gundelach And Williams in the back. Good run, Xavi O'Neal. Xavi to his right, sets up, just missed.
And that is so well done from Xavi O'Neal. And great ball initially from Williams, playing it into him. Little dummy play there, 1v1 with DeBlasis, and just unfortunately, just a little bit too high on the shot, but he was threatening in the first half, and he's been threatening here once again, the sophomore.
Didn't happen right away, but since the goal now, the Eagles have had the momentum, obviously, as the team trailing in this game. Now over their season average in shots.
And I think if you're Louisville, you have to figure out what the best pathway to securing the win is. I think another thing to realize is no Sander Road on the field for them, going off injured. So maybe look to other guys in the midfield to keep the possession.
Dos Santos was taken out just outside the box, and it is our first card of the game given out. Ogunleya was back there.
And Dos Santos, so elusive, so tricky, and just the late tackle there. And now BC, good free kick opportunity, and we see Ochoa maybe possibly coming to the match. He did score off of one against BU with his left foot, so I'm sure BC, if possible, would like to get him on there and possibly on the ball.
So it is Ochoa who's in for CJ Williams.
And it looks like they'll keep him off it for now. It would have been a big ask for his first opportunity at the game to be off a free kick, but Dos Santos and Eklund on the ball. Maybe this one favors a left footer a little bit more, but we've seen a lot of good goals from Eklund this season, so don't be surprised if it's him with his right foot getting this on target.
What a moment in this game. It's Eklund. Didn't miss by much.
And not too far away from Eklund. Maybe just a little bit curling out wide with the ball, but good chance for BC. And like we said, since the goal, maybe a couple moments where they're still finding their feet, but they've really been pushing the initiative past 5 or so minutes.
Up to 15-11 in shots. Colleen will go back for Diego Ochoa.
And interesting as well having CJ Williams come out, who's just been an important player for them in the back line his entire career, but Ochoa naturally left-footed, so he slides into that left center back role, and look for him to use his ball playing ability. He is so good on that left foot, playing crosses, playing long balls, especially as we get later into the match. Look for them to utilize that.
Dos Santos plays it in, took a deflection before the Cardinals clear. Yeah, last year in a back three, you got a little bit more of all three of those guys on the pitch at the same time. Ochoa got it forward for O'Neal. Can he get to it? No.
And you talk about that switch. Last year they played a lot in that back three, and you maybe lose Ochoa to being able to play a lot of minutes, but the switch to the back four has opened up a spot for Christian Behar, who's been such a key player for BC this year at left back position. And he's a guy, especially as we look further into this game and BC needs a goal, expect him to push up more into the attack and try and get out wide and possibly put some crosses in.
Andrews over top. Josh Jones, good touch. Back to his keeper. Not just the skill, but the size. It's 6'5". Makes him so dangerous back there.
And we've seen a couple times that battle of Eklund, and Eklund normally used to probably winning some headers, but Josh Jones just pipping him to a couple of those balls. And those are little moments, but if the attacker gets a flick on there, maybe the wingers are getting in behind. So really just shows how important he is to this Louisville defense, and they've definitely been happy to have him back to yet tonight.
Guarino with good pressure. Ochoa knocked down, and play stops. And then a little after the fact, and now Christopher Grabas is going to have to clear everything up here as both teams still going at it here. Everybody's got to calm down a little bit.
And a little melee there, and it was a late foul on Ochoa. You see why there is frustration from the BC side.
Yep, no doubt, right? They're defending their guy. But the last thing you want is exactly that now Gundalach gets a card. So let's see. There's the foul first. Ochoa's already back up and is okay, and then they get the yellow card for that after. And it's one of those situations where sometimes it's easier to just square up evenly and restart. It's probably an equal amount of shoves in there after the foul. But Arnson gets the card for the foul on Ochoa, and then Gundalach picks up a yellow card for the retaliation.
And once again, that's something we talked about, how you get later in this game, such an important ACC matchup, one both teams want to get the win out of, and you just have to make sure you minimize the emotional aspect of it and just focus on the soccer and focus on getting the win for your team.
Dos Santos throws it on Michael Asari, who's back into the game. He replaces Chavi O'Neal on that left side. 15-20 remaining. Also some subs for Louisville. Argento came back in, as long as Mason Tatufu, the senior from Australia. Tatufu playing in his 6th game of the year, the transfer from Hofstra a couple of years ago.
And that was Ogunleya coming off. The freshman had the yellow card, so probably Coach Hayden just getting him off the field. Like we said, he's a young guy, a freshman, maybe just want to make sure you don't put him in any sort of opportunity to get the red card and get Louisville down to 10 men.
Line over for Behar. Dos Santos comes back to the middle. Crossfield pass for Asari. Led him too far. Asari was saying that he was still up in the air. Knocked out on the near side. .13:28 remaining in this second half. 1-0 Louisville leads. Guarino. Flag was up.
And BC still on the initiative. It's been like that the majority, pretty much since 5 or so minutes after Louisville scored their goal. And Louisville just really haven't had the attack. Klein, not much to do in the second half, but BC still nothing to show for it.
Ochoa heads it forward. Eklund, nice ball. Asari could not get it past Tatafu. And then a whistle on the near side. Asari got tied up with D'Argento. Cardinals holding on to this 1-0 lead. Free kick for Josh Jones. Marcy Colleen steps up. Ball goes against Louisville. At this point, you feel, the Eagles have had enough chances. They can just keep doing what they're doing. It's just about finishing. Asari, a little too strong on the touch. Can he get it back? Not quite. Good job to keep that in. And a whistle, a foul behind the play. There's a few different players down here for Louisville with 11:20 to go. There's that chance from Ola Arntzen. And a yellow card comes out against Boston College.
And a couple hard challenges all around the field from BC there. And Louisville just trying to get the ball out of their defensive third into attack and really create something. And they're hanging on to this game right now, and they just need to find a way to hopefully keep some more possession, spread the ball around more, and seal this game out.
A yellow card there went against Diego Ochoa. .11:13 to go. Dangerous area. Ochoa clears it. And sent all the way back down the other way.
And it'll be interesting to see what BC does here. They were actually in a similar position against BU midweek, down 1-0. Ochoa comes in, gets that goal late. And there we saw him for his goal. So we'll see if Coach Thompson takes that same approach and hopes to nick something here late.
Toro, who's just back in. Got to the midfield. Over for Asari. Michael Asari back to his right foot, looking somewhere, nobody home. And Piela on it with 10:05 to go in the second.
And the two freshmen connecting there, Toro to Asari, and Asari does well to get some space. Probably wasn't quite sure whether to cross or shoot, a little hybrid of the two, and Piela happily grabs that.
Maybe some miscommunication there for Louisville, just gives the ball up. Ochoa over top. Dos Santos going 1-on-2. I think that bumped off the back of the Louisville defender. It did, so that's a corner kick.
And DeBlas is looking for a foul there, saying he got pushed by Dos Santos, but I think just unfortunate touch from him off the shoulder, and now BC a huge set-piece opportunity for them.
Two subs for Louisville, Parker Forbes, Chase Vasquez both in. They replace Guerra and Michael Lee. Those two who combined on the goal that has this a 1-0 game in favor of Louisville.
And you see Koa Lee still on the field. Has only gone 90 minutes once, and big game for him here back in his home state. Looking like he might go the distance.
Good touch by JP Jordan to knock that out. Asari got it back going. Dos Santos. Diego Ochoa got some space. Ochoa missed high.
And the shot there from Ochoa, a little bit over the goal, but you see why he comes back into the game in these situations. He is such a good player on the ball, whether it's crossing, passing, shooting. Doesn't quite get the shot on target here, but when you're down a goal, you want players that are good with the ball at their feet, and Ochoa definitely one of the best on this BC roster.
Ask Eklund was down for Boston College, and they do stop play here. Lost his footing with 8:49 to go, and it looks like they are going to go in and take a look at this one.
We're going to review it. Review 5 seconds before.
It was just assessed to someone on the Louisville bench. What they're looking at, I assume they're looking at the Eklund play that we saw. It's one of the new things this year, increase. And there is no foul.
And probably the quickest VAR review I've seen so far. So that shows you that the ref very certain, and as we see, not much there at all. Huge ACC match, probably not one.
Nine shots in this game. It's 10-5 in the second half, after at one point Louisville led 5-1 when that goal crossed the line. Boston College has not lost yet this year when they've outshot their opponent 2-0-3. Boston College's only 2 losses this year are against the preseason #1 and the current #1. That ball's out for a goal kick. In jeopardy here with 8 minutes to go. And Louisville's going to take as much time as possible here, which they're in every right to do. Ochoa. Over for Gundelach. Behar over top looking for Asari. Tries to get through 2 defenders. Asari is called for the foul.
And you can see the celebration from the Louisville defense, how much that means to them to try and secure this first ACC win. Celebrating defense like a goal, and it just shows you how much it really does mean to them here.
They call the foul against Asari there. Going 1-on-2. Ochoa wins the header. Over for Andrews. Dos Santos tried to cut to his right. Quite enough space.
And now if you're BC, you're thinking, 6 minutes left, clock running down. How are you going to get the goal? What changes can you make in these late stages? Does it mean playing a little bit more direct? The issue there is that Eklund, big guy at 6'3", but Josh Jones, even bigger guy at 6'5". So maybe against other teams, you might have more of an opportunity to dump the ball, but you have a big pillar back there for Louisville that would make doing that pretty hard for them.
AJ Piella, the freshman, has made 8 saves and has kept it 1-0 Louisville. Dos Santos. Still up, draws the corner.
Good service needed here from Dos Santos. We saw a couple good services from O'Neal on the other side. Maybe not as much in the recent corner kicks for BC, but you saw them have some success when they put the ball into that 6-yard box and made Piella come out for it. So look for them to do the same.
Looking for the header. Gundelach, it was deflected, and then again Piella has it. And now what's the decision here? We're gonna have a review.
And we'll see the replay here, but the BC players were very adamant about the handball. A lot of times you see players just call for it immediately. So interested to see how this one actually looks on the replay.
Tough to tell on that angle. It was right on the right side of your screen. Of course, the important thing here is there a look as well?
And
hard to tell in real time.
I'm not sure if there's much to it. There's different rules, but a lot of time you look to the natural position of the hand. Looks like it might actually be off of Jordan's hand from that second angle we saw, and it seemed like his hand was in a natural position, so would be a hard one to give up if the ref were to call it. And of course, the call would have to be overturned, and it has to be clear and obvious, so we'll see what the call is.
There are closed circuit cameras across the facility, so slightly different than the ones we have, but basically similar angles, similar looks. And obviously a crucial moment with 4:23 is all that's left.
And like I said, we'll see what the ref calls, but especially now with the way VAR is used, it's very easy for the players to call for it. And you see your ref sticking with his original call in. Like I said, with VAR, the way it's used, if the BC players are calling for a handball, screaming for it, the ref is gonna have to maybe, his sideline officials, call for the VAR review. But we get the corner kick here.
Eagles are trying to start quickly, but the clock had stopped on the review. Leo Guarino take the corner for the first time. Guarino going back post. Josh Jones got the first touch. Still in the box. There's a header chance. It goes!
And ask Eklund, we talked about him before the game, how important he is for this BC side, and he pops up when they need him the most. And still 4 minutes here for either team to get the win in this match.
Ask Eklund finds its opening. Look at the left side of your screen after Jones couldn't get it out of the box.
Loops over his head into the goal. It was Jones who originally made the initial header, couldn't quite get it far enough. BC back into this game, and both teams will be looking to get the winning goal here.
And now, how does this change things with 3:49 to go? Eklund hobbling a bit.
Player, it's really hard to make that switch to go from defending for so long to getting on the offense, whereas BC, they're in full swing right now, and there's a
The box. Good job to head it out. Tatafu. And now a whistle goes against BC. Another look at the equalizer.
And great work from Asari there. Ball comes out, and the freshman gets up. The two BC newcomers linking up, and ask Eklund. Huge goal for him.
It was in the 86th minute that Diego Ochoa tied the game against BU on Tuesday night. It's the 86th minute that Ask Eklund ties this one against Louisville. Josh Jones in a dangerous spot. Turn one. Ochoa lost his footing. Trying to knock that out. And the whistle goes against the Cardinals. 2:23 left. By the way, that shot was Boston College's 11th shot on target today. That is tied for their season most, which they also had against Merrimack earlier this year.
And the Eagles still pushing the initiative here. 2 minutes left. They want the win, and a win that would be so important for these two teams in the conference.
They are with short on that pass. Vasquez got it forward, looking for Artson. Say he got the shoulder. Michael Asari still on it, and then lost it to JP Jordan. Anxious moments in the final 132, and they're letting them play right now.
And I think you're just seeing the tackles flying in.
No chance. Each team. Collects. Marco Dos Santos gets it across. Oh my, what a chance that ended up being with 30.
On the back. Usually they do that so that it doesn't go off their hands for a handball and PK, but off balance, and Dos Santos just want to get that on target there.
Kept feeling like there was that moment he was gonna play the service, and then ended up having a shot out of it. Ochoa sends it out to the near side, just 8 seconds left. And now it's Louisville with the ball. There's still a ball on the field. All kinds of chaos here. They're not gonna get a chance. And this one ends 1-1 in Newton.